Hello, everybody, and welcome to another special VIP tournament here on Ultimate Golf. I'm Duff, your host, and we are in for a treat today. These VIP tournaments are a chance for you guys to play alongside, hole for hole, shot for shot with some fellow players, game developers, pro athletes, and the odd celebrity. Now, this one today is kind of a one special day for us, and we have one special guest. We're going to get into what that means in a moment, but our guest today has revolutionized gaming, not just in the UK, but the entire world. He sold over 20 million books and might have had a hand in creating some pretty famous things along the way. We are joined by Sir Ian Livingstone. Sir Ian, welcome to your VIP challenge.
Hello, I'm delighted to be here, and I hope it is a challenge I can overcome.
Oh, absolutely. We know you're going to do fantastic here on the Dunes Golf Course. Sir Ian, you can go ahead, hit your tee shot on number one. Let's start this 18-hole journey together. We'll get you off the tee, and then we'll introduce you to the people.
Okay.
Using that cue ball, cue, of course, taken from the James Bond franchise.
There she goes.
All right, Sir Ian, we are away. Stay in the short stuff for him, would you? There it is.
280 yards, not bad for a rookie hit.
Not bad at all. So, Sir Ian, you are, I mentioned there the book sales. You are known for your Fighting Fantasy series, which is like a game book. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I'm in Canada, and I had heard rumors of it, or like along the way in my life, I had heard stuff like this, but I wasn't very intimate with it. But I went on Amazon, bought it for my kid, 9 years old, and she has not been able to put them down. And I keep going, Dad, look what I did. Dad, look what I did. I wonder if you can just introduce us and the Ultimate Golf players to Fighting Fantasy.
Well, Fighting Fantasy game books are a branching narrative, but with a game system attached to them. So it gives the readers choice. Set in the world of monsters and magic, you have to go on these fantastic journeys, making decisions, killing monsters, finding treasure. So the books are broken up into 400 paragraphs. And at the end of each paragraph, you have to make a decision whether to turn left, turn right, open a door, not open a door. And if you find a key, that might help you open a treasure chest or a door further down the adventure. And you roll dice when you come to monsters and fight them. So it gives you agency. And because it's interactive, it's much more compelling, especially for Generation Z, than a linear book, which is a passive experience. But they all came about way back in 1981. I was one of the co-founders of Games Workshop, launched Dungeons and Dragons in the UK, and later on Warhammer. So it's taken the essence of a role-playing game and putting it into book format. And that's kind of the top-line description of a Fighting Fantasy game book.
It is absolutely what a fantastic concept. We're going to watch you take this approach shot here.
Yeah.
Using that rattler here on number one at the Dunes. So Final Fantasy came out, we're talking over 40 years ago. You're still pumping out books today, but that whole concept of kids choosing their own path through something, and not just and having luck rely on it too, right? So you've got the roll of the dice, so you can't just. It's not just you. There's a little bit of luck factor and everything, which I think is important for the kid because it makes it a story as opposed to just them blind or navigating it on their own. Were you guys just sitting around? How did you come up with this concept?
Well, we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 7 years. As I said, we introduced D&D into Europe and started our own games company, Games Workshop. And so I used to enjoy designing dungeons, and so just stripping down the game of a role-playing game, which is for multiplayers, into a single-player experience with the book taking the place of the dungeon master, but giving choices that were meaningful to the readers. So they had to, make really important decisions, not just random left or right. You have to work out puzzles and collect items, and if you find those items, you'll be able to open doors and overcome all the obstructions and avoid traps and being fried to death by dragons. So the very first one was called The Walk of Firetop Mountain, which came out in 1982. They did pretty well in the US as well. They had these amazing covers by Richard Corbin in the US. In Canada, you had all the UK versions. Now I'm going to try and putt.
So if you move your target over to the right a little bit there, you'll see it'll go green at the pin, and that'll mean you're aimed right at it, and it should go in.
See the pin. It is green, but here we go.
So you'll see the actual pin go green. If you miss your first putt, it's not the end of the world. The players are going to love it because they're going to have a chance to maybe get up a stroke on you in this one.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a good leg putt. That's a good leg putt.
Okay. Let's see if we can get it in.
So there you go. Now you see that big green line appear.
Yeah, that's an error from my...
There's nothing wrong with a 3-putt. We've all done it in life. I'm sure you've got a couple of those.
There's nothing good about 3-putt.
Let's just not make it a 4-putt. There we go. Get in the hole. Oh no, is it short? That's all right.
I'm just luring them. I'm luring them into a false sense of security.
He's a shark.
That's because they think, this guy's going to be easy to beat. So now we're... look at that. That's pretty awful. Okay.
Oh, you're fine. +2 after 1, Sir Ian. We've got 17 holes left to make up for it. Don't be worried.
I'm on it.
So Dungeons & Dragons, when you were playing Dungeons & Dragons, were you more of a dungeon master? Did you take that role a lot? Or did you have a character and were you involved on that side of it?
I did both. I designed my own dungeon, first one in 1975, before any of you were born out there. And but I always enjoyed playing as I had a barbarian character called Amvar. He's getting a bit long in the tooth these days.
So your love of Dungeons & Dragons and gaming, so this whole thing, your whole path down into gaming started with a newsletter, Owl and Weasel. Yeah. Which I understand you just meant the equivalent of spam mail, just fired it out to as many people as you could. Not as many as you can, but relevant people around the world. Yeah. And it kind of caught a little bit of fire there. What was it like writing that first newsletter?
Well, we were kind of badly paid. I was sharing a flat with two school friends, Steve Jackson and John Peake. And we were all enjoyed board games, and we thought, wouldn't it be nice to be able to turn our hobby of playing games into a birdie?
Yes!
Okay, the boy is back. So could we turn our hobby of playing games into some sort of fledgling business? So we sent out this newsletter called Owl and Weasel to everybody we knew in games, and one of the recipients, even though we hadn't sent it directly, was a gentleman by the name of Gary Gygax who lived in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and he just invented Dungeons and Dragons. And he wrote to us, said, "Love your magazine, here's this new game I've devised, and what do you think?" And we played it, opened the box. It didn't look very much. There was no board, average artwork in those days. But it opened up your mind like no game had done before, and I don't think any game ever will again. The first role-playing game, where you take on the roles of heroes and wizards and clerics and go these fantastic journeys of the mind, exploring dungeons and leveling up. And this is social fun like Theatre on the Fly, enjoyed in your home with your friends. And so we ordered 6 copies because it's all the money we had. And on the back of that huge order, we got a 3-year exclusive distribution agreement for the whole of Europe.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very early entry into the games industry, which was pretty much non-existent in those days. So what else do you think about that? I'm just going to swing away, try and catch it, get back to the bar.
Well, we started off +2. We go birdie on number 2, so kind of a tale of two cities there in the first 2 holes. Let's see what we can do in this long par 5. Now, when you guys first started the distribution of D&D in the UK, you guys didn't have a brick or mortar or anything, right? It was just like out of your flat?
Yeah, we're working out of our apartment, and so it was very hand for mouth. There was obviously before mobile phones, before the internet, and we didn't even have a phone in our apartment. We shared a phone on the ground floor with our landlord, and the phone would ring. It'd all be a telephone order for D&D, and he would always get first and hang up on the customers because he got really irritated by all these phone calls. But we pressed on, and finally we left. Steve and I decided to go to the States to see Gary Gygax and all the fledgling games companies. And hang on, here comes my next shot.
It's gonna be good.
I pulled it left a little bit. Hopefully it's okay.
That's all right. The ball will save you there. The wind will bring it back.
It's all right.
Run, ball, run.
So we got to the States and met all the companies that were starting up in role-playing games and board games, and came back to the UK. Had all the games posted to my girlfriend's place because we didn't have anywhere to live. We didn't have an office, so he goes to the bank manager and said, "We've got this great game. It's a role-playing game which you kill monsters and find treasure. Can we have $10,000, please, as a loan?" And he looked at us rather like a dog watching television, had no understanding whatsoever what we were talking about, and asked us to leave rather politely. So we ended up renting a small office at the back of an estate agent where we did our mail orders from, and had to live in Steve's van for 3 months because we had no cash. But that's okay.
It happens. I understand you learned how to play squash in those 3 months. Maybe because they had a shower and a place to shave.
Living the dream. Birdie, hey.
Back to back, we're on the birdie train here with Sir Ian playing at Dunes in his Ultimate Golf VIP tournament.
So we just carried on and dumped our little newsletter, started White Dwarf magazine, started a figures company making miniatures called Citadel Miniatures, and opened our first retail store in 1978 in West London, in Hammersmith. And the rest of the say is history. Games Workshop really started to grow. At the end of the 3-year period, here comes my drive on the next hole. Oh, ultimate shot. Gary Gygax came over and said he wanted to merge his company TSR with our company Games Workshop, but we decided we didn't want to do that. We're kind of independent young Brits at the time, and didn't want to live half our life in across the pond, so we said no. Obviously that was a very risky thing to do because we lost exclusivity on Dungeons & Dragons and realised we had to start our own products to make up for that loss, and that's really how Warhammer came about. Created by,
did it ever?
By 3 of our people at Citadel Miniatures, Brian Ansell, Rick Halliwell and Richard Priestley, and it sold out pretty quickly. There goes my shot. Onto the green, come on.
Come on, ball.
Pin, it's the pin.
Look at this, hit the pin. Oh, off the pin. Now, in the middle of all that, too, you guys kind of helped with the community aspect of Dungeons and Dragons, starting the Games Day, which was like a pretty good convention. What was it like? So before that, I imagine it was kind of a smaller community. Was that wildly successful? What was it like meeting so many people at the same time that were part of that community?
Hang on, I'm just gonna putt. I got a putt.
Oh yeah, make the putt first. Cue ball, get in your home.
yes.
Oh, he hits the long one.
No,
so it doesn't matter how old or young or how many times you've played this game, we all get excited hitting a long putt.
Yeah. So we used to run games days, and thousands of people come and play D&D and board games and RuneQuest and Traveller and other role-playing games. And it was there where we met the editor for Penguin Books, who asked us to write a book about the hobby because she was fascinated by so many people being absorbed by role-playing games. And we said, well, rather than writing a book about the hobby, let's write a book which allows you to experience that hobby. And that's how the Warlock of Top Mountain, the first Final Fantasy game book, came about. It took Geraldine nearly 2 years to convince Penguin Books that an interactive book would be successful, because they had no belief that all books should be linear and not interactive. But she fought our corner, and it was published and sold out very, very quickly. So I'm delighted. And the whole story I've written about the origin story of Games Workshop in a book I wrote last year called Dice Man, which is the origin story of Workshop and all the anecdotes about traveling across the states and delivering cars and living in a van in the UK, or the trials and tribulations of a very embryonic industry, which was amazing fun at the time.
Yeah, when these books, it's not unlike today's day when you get the Grand Theft Auto and people saying that games are too violent. You had a little bit of that too, right? When you first came out with these books, and some concern about the dragons and the monsters and what it was teaching.
Well, because they were called game books, society always kind of worries that games are some sort of going to poison your mind or something, whereas they don't understand the power of play, the fact that games require you to problem solve, the intuitive learning, the creativity, like in video games like Minecraft, where it's like digital Lego. Child can learn by applying the heat of a furnace to silica sand. They can make glass and put it in their environments, and lots of games like a management simulation. And there was a warning guide posted about our game books, saying that because you're interacting with ghouls and demons, you're going to get possessed by the devil, or part of the satanic panic. And the local vicar chained himself to the railings of Penguin Books until they were banned, and therefore then parents started sending in petitions wanting them banned. At the same time, some parents and teachers are realizing how great they were for reluctant readers, getting a whole generation of kids to read, about improve their literacy, improve their critical thinking, their algorithmic thinking, and their puzzle solving. And so over time they became much more congratulated for the positivity in inspiring and motivating, especially reluctant readers to read. Right, here we go.
And no such thing as bad press, right? That vicar probably did you a favor. All right, let's drop this chip out of the rough.
I don't know where to go with this.
Yeah, you can go back to there. Sir Ian, with the voodoo, fitting to what we were just talking about, burns the left edge. That's all right. 3-footer. You're gonna knock this in. Little tap in.
Well, I'd like to think so. I missed
Sir
one.
Ian, are you a golfer? That's all right. You got it out of your way early, right? Are you a golfer in real world?
I am, but I'm pretty old these days, so my handicap is going in the wrong direction. It's directly correlated to my age in the wrong direction.
It happens. It happens. So Games Day, you have the conventions, you start selling the figurines, you're creating those, and then that turns into the game Warhammer, which is still going, and is one of those games that I think everybody knows about. Maybe not intimately, but if you say Warhammer, I go, oh, that's that game with the figurines on the table, and you do everything. Was that a, hey, this is what I would prefer Dungeons and Dragons to be, or was that just a, hey, these figurines are awesome, let's get as much of these involved as we can?
Well, as you know, D&D is about a single figure identity with one character, so there's not many miniatures involved in the game, whereas Warhammer is a mass combat tabletop battle between large units of miniatures. And as we were a miniatures company as well as a games company, we wanted a system that would allow for lots of miniatures to be painted and used and played with. And that was kind of the basic premises for creating Warhammer in the first place. But it's been phenomenal how it's taken off. And when Warhammer 40K came out in 1987, it became an absolute worldwide phenomenon. And fast forward to today, Games Workshop's over 500 stores, White Dwarf magazine with like circulation of 250,000. I mean, Steve Jackson and I sold out in 1991, and Workshop went on to list on the London Stock Exchange, and it's now currently worth over $4.5 billion. So some might say we sold out a little early, but phenomenal success. Long may. Here goes my next.
You've done all right. You've done all right.
I am not complaining at all. Because I then moved into video games after selling out a Workshop. And here we go. There's the drive.
Go, go, go. Stay in the short stuff. Good job. Off the tee, Sir Ian. So into video games did you ever go? So one of the franchises from when, and the poster I had up on the wall was a certain Lara Croft, who just so happens to be over your right shoulder there.
Oh, man. Yeah, these were the life-size
that
models.
Was you.
Yeah, it was. Well, I didn't create Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. That was the original concept for Lara Croft was from a 2D artist at the Core Design, the studio in the Midlands in the UK, which developed the game. And that guy was called Toby Gard, and he'd seen the rise of girl power and thought, wouldn't it be great to have a female character as the lead character in a new game? And everyone thought that was an amazing idea. And this was one of the very first games with 3D character moving into a 3D world. And it had kind of great technology, great graphics, and a camera that really allowed player to see the environments. And it had these three pillars of puzzle solving, exploration, and combat. And with this great character in Lara Croft, it was a phenomenal success. So I'd moved from Workshop into video games, and we put 4 companies together to create IDOS, which we floated on the stock exchange in 1995. And we concentrated a lot on original IP, so it wasn't just Tomb Raider, it was also Hitman and Deus Ex and Championship Manager and Lost Cause and Just Cause. Right. Come on, we can do this.
Approach shot here on 6. The par 5. Let's see if he can leave himself with a decent chip here. Maybe even a shot at Eagle. Get up there, ball. Ooh, big kick left. That's all right.
Pin high, missed the green. Damn. All out for Eagle.
So when you guys were playing a lot of D&D and then eventually Warhammer, were you a console gamer, or were you back in the old Ataris and all that first, or was that they came around and you transitioned into it and that's why you started?
No, I was a player as well. I started with an 8K PET, Commodore PET, playing these very basic games, and then moved into the early consoles and PCs, and I think my Commodore Amiga was one of my favourite platforms, and then I got a Mega Drive and enjoyed all the 8-bit, 16-bit games, and ultimately 32-bit, and then with the PlayStation.
All right, so if we go ahead and if you move that target, go back into that aim for a sec. Oh, okay, take your shot. We'll do the next one.
Okay.
Let's see how close Sir Ian can get here. Ooh, great left. Yeah, just missing left. We're going to tap this one in for birdie, though.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how far these games have come. So the course we're playing right now, Dunes. So if you were to go play this in real life right now, it is going to be an actual representation of what you're playing here in Ultimate Golf, down to the undulations of the greens and the fairways. I've watched events online. Harbortown is one that comes to mind, a famous course, PGA course here in the US. where I've watched it on TV and gone, that green breaks to the left, that green breaks to the left, and then because I've played it thousands of times in the game, and then sure enough, you watch the player take the shot, and it broke to the left.
Okay, let's see if we can do this.
So let's watch Sir Ian bomb one off the tee here. Number 7.
If only I could do this in real life.
No kidding. So we said in the intro, I alluded to one special day. So one special day is a day put on by SpecialEffect, which is an organization that helps people with physical disabilities be a part of the gaming community and the gaming world by fitting them with special devices and making adjustments to games and controllers so they're able to participate. Nice approach shot. Oh, it's just going to roll off the back.
Yeah.
So we've got actually over 90 companies from the gaming industry all around the world participate. We raise a ton of money, and the money that you guys are using to join this tournament is going to go towards that cause. Now, Sir Ian, how did you get involved with SpecialEffect?
I've been involved for many years, and just it is extraordinary. It's extraordinary what they've achieved in those years, and giving children with severe disabilities a quality of life they would not otherwise have experienced. To give them an opportunity to actually engage and have agency and control in entertainment which they would have been excluded from previously, particularly like in normal entertainment. So to just allow children to participate, I think, is amazing. And what they've done in modifying equipment and games and controllers to personalize those for whatever child's disability is has been phenomenal. So, Dr. Nick and the whole team there should be, lauded from all parts of the world for what they've managed to achieve. And we, as an industry, I think it's really important that we support their work.
Oh, 100%. And gaming it's a part of childhood. It's a part of society. It's a part of everything now. And to take that away from kids just because of physical disability, some of the stuff they've done is absolutely incredible. Sick puff technology was something I was reading about, where someone with like full loss of their limbs are able to play a game as complicated as like FIFA, playing, I'd call it soccer, you'd call it football, with just their mouth and to take a shot and to take a pass. They've done this eye mine technology, so kids, Minecraft, huge in kids. Yeah, my kids play a ton of Minecraft, which you alluded to before. What great! They learn problem solving. They learn science. They learn so much stuff in that. And kids are able to play this now just by moving their eyes. And this great organization, SpecialEffect, isn't just gaming. They've also helped in classrooms. They got this program called the Bubble Busters. So what that is kids who are stuck at home. So for whatever reason, if they're immunocompressed and there's or immunosuppressed and there's a pandemic going on in the world, or they've got physical limitations, basically they put a robot in a classroom that acts as the kids' eyes, ears, and their voice. And the other kids are able to interact with it. They're able to interact in real time with their classroom. And they actually have over a 50% success rate of kids that have a robot in class end up making it back to the classroom eventually. So the whole thing as a whole, what a fantastic organization.
It is. And I think it's also important as well for the wider context of the power of play. Often, I think I talked about earlier how games get criticized. Only 5% of games content has an 80 rating, and it's rated for a reason, the same way movies are. But 95% of games content is perfectly family friendly, like we're playing today. And that engagement, that agency of control, of participation, I think is really key. I mean, during the pandemic, children weren't just playing together, they were hanging out together in virtual games worlds. And that was actually spoken of by the World Health Organization as being a great thing. So there's so much good to say about games. Obviously what SpecialEffects do from helping children with severe disabilities, but also for connecting kids and giving them meta skills in life that can help them in their adult careers. As I say, many games are a simulation when surgeons can use gaming software to practice operations without any dire consequences of getting it wrong. A pilot uses simulation software to learn how to fly. It's not through reading a book, it's through interacting through gaming software that teaches so many skills that are also transferable. And so if you enjoy playing games, you might want to know how to make one, and then you might want to learn how to code, or you might want to go into animation or into art. And so the ecosystem around games is absolutely amazing, and yet games are too often criticized. But I think that is finally changing now. I think people are seeing the power of play, that when we enter this world as kids, we learn through play. It's through play that so much is understood about the world.
Let's see if we can understand. Hit that putt. If it's red, it's going to be too hard. No, it's a little red. We'll see how it goes. And you've been a big component. You keep saying that word power of play, which I love. Oh, no, after all that, he pulls it left. You were big into getting computer science into the national curriculum over there, right? Yeah. And I know with a 9-year-old here, they are learning coding now. And it's so fantastic to see, because like you said, there's so many life lessons to be learned from games. Let's hit this putt. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, not everyone needs to know how to code, but you have to understand how code works. I think computer literacy is almost as important as literacy and numeracy. And in a world that's being transformed by technology and where AI and robots are going to take away so many jobs, you have to get children out of the passenger seat of consumption into the driver's seat of creativity. So if they can operate by being able to code and create and collaborate, they've got a good opportunity and chance to create goods and services that they can monetize through the internet to global audiences. One of those opportunities are making video games, for example.
They're a huge part of my life. I grew up playing video games, but it was only as an adult that I really got involved heavily in like the mobile sports world, and heavily involved obviously with Ultimate Golf, and we've kind of transitioned that into a little bit into an esport where we run in Ultimate Golf a huge live streamed tournament. We start with over 600 players. Wow. And it ends in a final culmination of 6 players going live head to head, and with announcers and people watching live. And I understand you're kind of part of esports in the changing world of gaming in that with your latest venture. How close have you been paying attention to esports? And as an expert in gaming, kind of where do you see that side of video games going?
I like all parts of games. I started off with board games, moved into role-playing games, then into interactive books with Fighting Fantasy, then into video games, and then as an investor in games, as an angel investor in studios that are making mobile games and PC games and console games. Now, of course, I'm too old to run anything, so I'm a general partner in a venture capital fund called Hero Capital. That's HIRO, named after hero protagonist from Snow Crash. And we invest in game studios and games technologies, and we also invested in an esports Team Liquid. And so I try my best to stay up to date with games and game technologies and where the industry is going. I mean, it's very difficult to predict where the industry might go next, because it is always being transformed by advances in technology. So whilst there are challenges, there are also many opportunities.
It's also the 9 and 10-year-olds today, right? Like someone my daughter's age, that they're going to make the decisions where this industry goes, because in 10 years, they're going to be 20, they're going to get a little bit of income, and they're going to be able to buy all these systems, and maybe they'll be developing games, and it's crazy to think where it could go or where it will go, but it's sure a fun ride. I love being involved in the video game industry, and honestly, it's some of my best friends right now are people that I met. Oh, get in the hole! Oh! The line looks so good.
I was very pleased with that until it just decided to break 4 or 5 inches from the hole. That was a bit disappointing.
95% of a good shot. And I think we do owe thanks to like your, I hate to say your generation, makes you sound old, but I'll say your gaming generation with the Dungeons and Dragons and all that, because that turned games really into a community, and it added the community aspect, and that is such a big part of my life now with Ultimate Golf is community. And you guys kind of started that 40 years ago, and then here we are today doing the same thing, just playing a different game. Do you ever still get together on a Thursday night or anything and board game with any of your buddies, or are those days gone?
Absolutely. Every Wednesday we played board games, and even through the pandemic we played by using a website called boardgamearena.com and had a Zoom window open so we could do deals and backstab.
That's awesome.
The smiling assassin on
I
the
love
Zoom.
it.
But we still play board games physically most Wednesdays, and the same people are still in that group, which we've been running since the 80s. Steve Jackson, who I started Games Workshop with, is in the group. Peter Molyneux, a pretty famous video games developer over here in the UK. He created Theme Park and Fable and Black and White, amongst others. And a couple of people who are not in the industry. But games really bring people together. It's just a great fun way of spending time together, and it is totally natural. We're never too young to start, never too old to stop. And there goes my shot. Where will this go?
A little worried it's going to run long into the rough.
No.
Yes! We stayed short of the trap.
We're good.
All right, we might have to give you a little tip or trick here for the back nine. So let's go. If you hit that ball in the bottom left, there's Sir Ian. You can, actually, you're good there on that club. You can adjust the spin. So if that ball in the bottom left, if you hit that one, we can adjust the spin on the ball. This one, you look good. So you should roll out nice and close to the green. It's just on some of those longer shots, we're going to start adding a little bit of backspin.
Okay.
I think you're good now. You can go ahead and hit that right where it is. You're going to have a pretty decent, you probably have a 10 or 12 footer there for eagle, or for birdie rather.
Assuming I hit it straight.
Oh, you're going to hit it straight. I got lots of faith in you. You're a gamer, man. That stuff doesn't go away.
Yeah, but, get on. Oh, how could that not be on? Why can't I use my...
All right, we're going to hit this one. So here's the key. We're going to move the target on this one so the end of the line is in the hole. So if you go up, see that the white circle going around the landing spot?
Yeah.
If you go up there and move it, and then put the circle, you just put your finger right on that circle. There we go. Put that guide right into the end of the hole. There you go. And now just pull back to the middle of the ball, release it on the top, and it's going to go in.
Okay. I have faith in you. I've got faith in me.
Sometimes you just got to believe.
Oh, yeah.
I got all the faith in the world.
Yes.
Easy as that, he says. So here, there's no, you don't have to roll a 20. You don't have to nat 20. You don't have to roll a 15 to get anything to go. All you got to do is put your finger back, release it on the ball, and we're getting Sir Ian birdies here as we start the back nine at Dunes on his VIP tournament here on Ultimate Golf. Now, as we start the back nine, I like to ask people that have done this. So let's go back in your playing days. When you hit the turn and you start to play the back nine, are you a grab a pint and a hot dog kind of guy at the turn, or you just like to start that back nine right away?
I definitely have to have a hot dog if it's there. It's got to be done. Now, not always a pint. Sometimes I'll have, a half a pint. It depends. But the halfway hut is a favourite stopping point for me. And then usually it all goes a bit downhill after that. But hopefully not downhill.
Yeah, it depends how long you spend there, right?
Yeah.
Let's see him get off the tee here on 11. So you've been described as being patient zero for UK geek culture.
Yeah.
Which I think that word has changed so much in the last 10 or 15 years. Where, and I'll admit it, growing up, the guys that were playing D&D, maybe you didn't exactly see them. They were different than the athlete group, than all this. Now, I think with the global community and the internet and all this stuff is being seen as cool again. Like Stranger Things on Netflix definitely helped that. But my daughter, they play games, not D&D, but stuff kind of designed off of that through all their online stuff and their Roblox and their Minecraft and all that. But it's no longer seen as geek culture anymore. I think it's fully come around to being cool. And it's so fascinating, the ebbs and flows and the way all that gaming moves over all the years. Have you noticed that? Have you seen that? Is it? Are you getting treated differently? Or are you how does that work for the guy that kind of started all that?
Well, I didn't start it. I was one of the early pioneers of games, and I was just turning my passion of playing games into a fledgling business. So it's kind of making it up as it went along. But fast forward to today, and the video games industry is worth some $250 billion a year in top line revenue. There are 3 billion people playing games. It has become mainstream culture, but it's still regarded a little bit as geek. But I would say geek is now chic. I mean, it is, as you say, cool to play games, and all the positivity around games is now being finally understood. So those rabid headlines that used to paint a poor picture for video games are no longer in evidence, which is great, because I genuinely believe in play as a good thing for society, culturally, socially, and of course economically.
And the whole too, the dragons and hunting treasures and doing all that. Like we saw Game of Thrones, huge television success. Throw that in with the sci-fi aspect. You've got your Star Wars and the whole reboot of that recently in that. And I know, my daughter playing games in that, a lot of it is there's dragons and there's treasure hunting, and even look at Harry Potter. There was some fantasy involved and all that. And it's definitely seen as cool now. You don't have to be wearing a leather jacket, smoking a cigarette to be cool. You can be cool with a sword, killing a dragon, and finding treasure.
Yeah, but everyone's playing games now. It used to be just games players playing on PCs, and then consoles came along, and then Facebook became a platform for social games, and Apple sees the opportunity and introducing the touchscreen technologies, some simple swipe across the screen, and anyone can become a casual games player, plus the very conveniently located app store for kind of all you can eat in terms of content, very accessible. So people who never thought themselves as game players are games players. And then along comes AR and VR, and then we're talking about the metaverse and esports, and it's definitely the entertainment choice of today's generation, young generation. And because everything they do is interactive, and they want their entertainment to be interactive, so it's no surprise that games are the preferred choice for young people's entertainment and older people. So it's just great to see that transition into mainstream entertainment. And of course, if you look at the numbers, it's now bigger than Hollywood and music combined. Okay, here comes the part.
It's speaking of touch screens and fingers making shots, let's see Sir Ian hit another long putt here on the par 5. He's got that green line. He hits it down the middle. Line looks good. Weight looks... Oh, it's a little hot.
Hit the cup.
Look at the... See the reactions? I still do that. Ah! And that is the fun of gaming, right? Is there you hit a shot a little bit too hard, and you can feel it. You feel it in your bones. The misses are just as... The misses are as bad as the makes are good. So it keeps you coming back.
It does.
So we're -3 through 11 here at the Dunes. Sir Ian having a little bit of fun.
I started off as +2, so it's a bit of a comeback.
It's a huge comeback. You went +2, and then you hit the birdie right away on number 2.
I need more birdies now.
So aside from gaming, I heard a rumor you might play a mean blues harmonica. Any truth to that rumor there, Sir Ian?
Well, it is true. I do enjoy playing a blues harmonica.
So harmonica is one of those things, very easy to play, very hard to be good at, though. Very hard to play it well.
It's an annoying instrument because it's under your nose, so you can't really see what you're doing, but you can with a guitar or a piano. And the combination of notes you can get from just those 10 holes is phenomenal.
It's one of those instruments that you don't realize is in a song until you're told, and then it'll never be, you can't help but hear it. So I did a little bit of listening. First of all, Paul Butterfield, incredible. I didn't even know this guy existed, and was listening to some of his stuff today, and I couldn't turn it off. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then you realize how much harmonica was even in the Beatles. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So the week we're filming this in Ultimate Golf, we have a big community event going on called Battle of the Bands. So we threw it out to our community. They all voted, and we get a list of the top 8 bands, and then we pitted those teams. You were able to join a team and play against each other. So kind of like an esport. We're not broadcasting this one, but everyone's playing along, and they get to choose a team to be on. So the top 2 teams we had were the Beatles and the Stones. So a lot of people got to pick one band or the other, and they're competing against each other. So I ask you today, Sir Ian, you got one ticket to go to one show. Are you Team Beatles or are you Team Rolling Stones?
I'm Team Rolling Stones.
Yes! I love it. You heard it here first, folks. Sir Ian. We'll have the results by the time this goes to air, but Sir Ian would have been on Team Rolling Stones. Here we are, hole 13. The par 4. Using those cue balls. Let's watch this one in the air. Stay out of the trap, please. 270 off the tee. That's going to leave him a little bit of work here on approach. He's getting better as the round goes on, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm enjoying it, that's for sure.
So Ultimate Golf, just like you've been involved in making games and whatnot, in the gaming industry, mobile, console gaming, and then also like real world gaming. Guys here at Ultimate Golf have been involved in making golf games for the better part of 20 years. So it started off with Outlaw Golf 1 and 2 back in the early 2000s, and then with the success of that, they went over to EA and made Tiger Woods for 10 years. And a lot of that influence, you can see in the game that we've got now. So the realistic golf courses, the gameplay, the nice putts that he makes there for the birdie. Beautiful job.
Thank you.
-1 there on 13, getting him to -4. Yeah, one of the things we're very proud of here at Ultimate Golf is the realistic gameplay and the console quality graphics. I mean, this game is visually just stunning to play. And it lets you kind of travel the world. We've got over 20 courses here in Ultimate Golf. Everywhere. We've got 3 in Canada, a whole pile in the States. We've got 3 over in the desert in Abu Dhabi, little Diakone in Japan, and of course a bunch of courses in England featuring London. We got Close House, and of course the Dunes. And the shore course at Prince's that we're featuring today. Have you played any real famous golf courses in real life? I'm dying to know.
I have, yes. I've played St Andrews and I've played Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach? That's an interesting golf course.
Yeah, amazing.
St Andrews, of course, the home of golf. And you guys might have noticed that you guys all know I'm Canadian, and I'm referring to our guest here as Sir Ian. And the reason that is because he was knighted. And for his contributions to the, I believe it was to the gaming community, or the gaming industry in the UK. What's that like? Is that a phone call, or is that a letter? Like, how do you find out about that?
Well, you don't know you're going to get it. So you get a letter from the Cabinet Office, which is the upper echelons of the government, and saying that they're minded to make you a knight. And if that was to be the case, would I accept? So they want to know if you would accept if you were offered it. So you write back and say, of course I will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible honor and such amazing pride that I had from seeing that letter. I mean, I just had to read it about 10 times to make sure it's true. And so, yes, I write back, and so that was in January 22 when it was announced, and I was told about it in November 21, and the ceremony was held at Windsor Castle in November last year. And it was just a phenomenal moment for me, and really, really, really proud moment. So, it's.
Are you used to it yet? Does it catch you off guard?
Well, I just feel a bit odd when people call me Sir Ian, because I've had 73 years of people just calling me Ian or worse, and but it is nice. So, people who don't know me call me Sir Ian. All my friends stick to the usual rude stuff. And
yeah, of course. I mean, there's not very many people in the history of the world get to be called that. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, hole 15, the par 4. Let's see what he can do here.
On the flat stuff.
Did you get a new license plate? Did you get a new license plate? I'd get a new license plate, Sir Joey, would be mine.
No, we don't do that in England. We're very understated. We don't brag about things.
So other than the harmonica and playing with your board games with your guys on a Wednesday night,
yeah,
I understand you like to do a little bit of sailing. I guess it only makes sense, living and growing up on an island. What have you got yourself a boat? What's your favorite day on the water?
I've had a couple of sailing boats in my time. One was a racing boat that we won UK Championship at an Ultra 30. It's like a 10-man skiff where you sit outside the boat to keep it from falling over. So that was amazing doing that. Obviously, I'm way too old for that, and whilst I still enjoy sailing, I don't own a sailing boat anymore. So I've got a Boston Whaler now, which cruises around the Solentine. But we still go for family holidays on boats. My wife and I and 2 of our 4 kids. We went to Greece this year and rented a large catamaran and sailed around the Greek islands, which was great fun.
Oh, beautiful. And Boston Whaler. Oh, I'm a sucker for a nice center console vessel driving around. I've spent a time or two in a whaler.
Go in.
In the hole. Oh, with speed.
Yes, if that good job that went in, otherwise it would have been off the green.
That the grounds guy's gonna put a new pin in. I think that might have shattered that one in half, but it went in. That's all everyone's gonna remember is that one went in. So is it safe to say you prefer an ocean over a lake? You like that salt water over the fresh water?
Oh yeah, I mean, lake, schmake. I'm not interested in lake stuff. It's the ocean.
Thank you.
I've done quite a few long sails. I sailed to Spain in the 80s on my boat, and several days at sea. The tranquility and the motion of the boat through the water and the wind and the occasional storm, you just kind of mellow into the whole experience, and time becomes timeless, and you just enjoy it. Just being on a boat is wonderful, I think.
That time on the water, it's unlike anything else. So I live on the western edge of Lake Ontario, which of course is a massive lake here in Canada.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I've lived here for 20 years now, but I still to this day, you see this huge body of water that you can't see the end of, and it doesn't make sense that you can't smell the salt air. I crave that salt air smell to this day. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's learned here as he makes his approach shot on 16.
I've learned nothing.
You're getting better. You started off +2. You're getting better.
My handicap in real life is like 24. It used to be 13 at the best, but so I'm just chopping it around like a 24 handicapper now. Trying to do my best.
Nothing wrong with that. So as we get to the last few holes here, Sir Ian, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about Dice Man and the decision to write your story. Because it's such a good story. You had to tell it. What's it like writing a book now about you instead of fantasy and making stories up? And did you ever have a notion somewhere halfway through that book that you wanted to throw in a dice roll and have people turn to page 112?
Yeah, a lot of people said I should do that, but no, this is a personal memoir, and so it's kind of a warts and all origin story of Games Workshop, how we started off in 3 school friends and turning our passion of playing games into this little business that grew beyond our wildest dreams and became a company that's now worth over $4 billion. And so haven't been associated with that company for 30 years. We've kind of watched as like proud parents, the child left home was really successful. But so the story of our Diceman is about the first 10 years and all the mistakes we made, the fun. There's a one chapter about driving across America in 1976 when the Olympic Games were on, and McDonald's were running this competition that if the States won a gold medal, you got a Big Mac, and if they got a silver medal, they got a large fries, and a bronze medal, you got a Coke. So we were going into McDonald's all the time, trying to get these tickets and speaking our best English accents, trying to get as many free tokens as we could. Because if they won a medal, you get whatever prize it was. So we felt rather guilty for supporting the US in all the Olympic Games that were going on. So that was huge fun, and so we were delivering cars to get from New York to LA, and then another one from LA to San Francisco, another one from San Francisco to Chicago, and we ultimately got to meet Gary Gygax at Gen Con in '76. So it took us nearly 2 months to get there, and then we came back and started that business that ended up so successful. But it was not an easy thing at the beginning. So living in a van in the middle of winter is not exactly a barrel of laughs.
I can imagine. So let's go. Look at this ultimate shot. It's in, folks. It is in. Birdie save on 16.
Out of the rough.
And of course, those 76 Olympics he's talking about, Montreal, here in my home country of Canada. All right, we head to 17 -7. Can we get him to a -9 by 18? That is our goal. -10, not unheard of.
Really?
We might be able to get there. Oh yeah, we'll help you a little bit on this one.
Yeah, I wasn't able to play golf and talk for the first hole. I messed up at like a 6 inch.
It's tough. It's very tough to do.
I've progressed as the game's gone on.
So pull back all the way. Pull back all the way. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. You'll see it get... Yeah, keep going all the way down. We're going to add some extra yards.
You just want me in the rough, don't you?
No, I've got faith in you. It's the only reason I'm doing this. There is I have complete faith in you.
No, you're just desperate me to clatter into the trees and get like a 9 or something.
No, I want you to do good. He's got this. Look at this. Great shot. Right. That's perfect because the wind was blowing right to left.
On the fairway.
Yes, we are.
On the dance floor. God, that's a long way to go. I don't know if I've got that in my bag.
That's all right. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. So we're going to... Okay, bottom left. Click on that ball. Let's add some spin before you take this shot.
Forward
We're going to
spin.
go top spin and left spin. So, yeah, let's add a bunch of top spin and left spin. As much as you can. Top and left. And then that's going to get us... And then we'll go back into aim again. And watch this. We're going to move the target up. Go into aim. Alright, we can hit it. We're on the Pegasus. We might come up a little short, but we're going to have to earn this approach shot.
It's smoking.
She's going. Ooh. Might have a shot at this.
Whole out for eagle. I'd love to. It's a tough one.
So there we go. We can move that target. You can zoom in, zoom out as you see fit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be happy with the bird here, though. But let's see if we can save the eagle.
I'll do my best. Come on. Don't panic now.
Come on, ball.
Ooh,
Come on, ball. Kick left.
Ooh.
It's a decent approach shot.
Not bad.
So once again, you guys are watching this video on one special day. That is today, put on by SpecialEffect. Again, the organization helping people with physical disabilities participate in this wonderful world that we are all in, called gaming. So whether that means console gaming, online gaming, mobile gaming, we're going to give you guys some rewards for purchasing this tournament, and you guys are going to give back to that organization with your support and the donations that'll be made on your behalf. And it's such a wonderful cause.
It is absolutely.
Let's see if we can end us here on 18 with a birdie. We're going to go out with a bang.
Okay. Right.
So he's getting it figured out.
Ooh, a bit left. Hopefully it's okay. Here we go. Stay on the green. Stay on the dance floor.
Look at the undulations.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you caught one. That's all right. It's all right. You still got a shot at the green. The needle's just going to move really fast. But look at that. We're going to get up onto the actual dance floor of the green here. And we're going to have either a long putt or maybe a chip to end this round with a birdie here on the Sir Ian Livingstone VIP tournament. And you guys see those cue balls that he's using. Nice approach shot.
Not bad. Oh, the kind of stuff.
Not bad at all. Let's end it with a birdie. Big putt. We have a drum roll, please. Ooh, it looks hot. It's going to come in with speed. It does. We end on a birdie. That is -9, folks. -9, the score to beat. Sir Ian, thank you so much for joining us on behalf of myself and Ultimate Golf, and of course, from SpecialEffect.
Well, thank you very much for letting me play and getting 9 under par. I mean, that's an achievement in itself. But that, of course, is not important. The important thing is that we're supporting SpecialEffect today and the brilliant work that they do. And if you can help in any way out there, it would be much appreciated. You're going to help change lives for the good, and also be part of an industry and an organization that sees the power of play in a positive sense. So thank you for your help, thank you for participation, and thank you for allowing me to play today. And for me, life is a game, and long may it be so.
Oh, what an awesome ending to that. That was Sir Ian playing his VIP tournament. Let's see what you guys got. Go out and beat them. Get some fantastic rewards here on Ultimate Golf VIP Tournament Special.